Hello, my name is Liza Elise, or Cafe Misery, and today I'm going to be talking about one of the decks from DZBT12, Alcasal Souls, the one I've been looking forward to the most out of the set. Eternal Idea, Alcasal. Alcasal is one of the decks from the Skyride manga, and let's go ahead and get into it. For the ride line, you do need to be on the... You dedicate the actual grade 0 because the grade 1, Raising Idea Alcasal checks for it. And when you do, you reveal the grade 3 Alcasal and you get an Idealized Queen's Fort. Idealized Queen's Fort is a token set order that has 2 skills, both by resting it. You can rest it, either check the top 7 to put 1 card into Soul from amongst them, or take a card from drop and put into Soul. And the turn is placed when you rest it to check the top 7, you can actually put 2 cards instead of 1. So that sets up for your grade 2 turn. With the Strive Idea Alcasal, which, when you ride up from Raising Idea, you get to search your deck for a Queen's Order card. Queen's Orders are Alcasal's main gimmick. She has 2 different Queen's Orders, a Blitz Order and a Normal Order, that we will get to throughout the video. So no need to talk about right now. And onto the grade 3 form, Eternal Idea Alcasal, who, when placed on Van, gets to search the deck for a Queen's Order again. And on Persona Ride turns, she actually searches out 2. Along with that, when she attacks as a once per turn for a single counterblast, you get to call a card from your Soul, or if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you get to call 2. And the units that are called over get to go to Soul instead of drop, which means this triggers some of the Desire Devils, which I'm not running any of them, but they are perfectly valid options for it. Of course, 3 Persona Rides. There we go. And for our Regalis piece, I am on the Fire Regalis, which can be removed from hand or drop to check the top 5 and call a unit with grade less than or equal to your Vanguard. If you don't call, you shuffle up and draw. Yeah. The reason we're on Fire Regalis is because we have 2 different kinds of orders, a Blitz and a Normal Order, and you're primarily trying to play those every turn. So you don't really want to gum it up with like Twin Cast or anything, in my opinion. Onto our grade 2s, we got 4 copies of Demonic Sword of Awakening Walkaina, who has 3 different skills, as long as you have an Alcasal Vanguard. The first one being that on place, you can Soul Charge 1, and if you don't, you can take a card from your drop and put it into Soul instead. During your turn, as long as you have 10 or more cards in Soul, she gets an additional 5k, and when she attacks, if she was placed by your Alcasal's ability this turn, she gets 3 different scaling abilities based on the number of cards in Soul. At 5, she gets another 5k. At 10, she gets, at the end of the battle, this unit attacked. You can put her into Soul to draw a card. And at 15, she gains a critical. This is going to be your main beater for the deck. Along with that, we're on 3 copies of the Mate unit for the deck, Lialua. You might remember the name, or the keyword Mate unit. That's what's on Ezerver. She's very simple, no actual ability text aside from the Mate unit ability. She's a base 10k power, but a 20k shield. Along with that, we're also on 3 copies of Fame Blazing Demonic Lady Oriens, who, as long as she wasn't placed by a unit's ability for a single Soul Blast, as the turn that a Normal Order was played, you can check the top 5 and call a unit, or add a Normal Order from the 5 to hand. And when she attacks a grade 3, you can Soul Blast 3 to draw a card and give her 5. That second effect doesn't come up often with this deck, but it technically could at any point. You're mainly using her to build boards, really big boards, faster. Along with that, we're also on 2 copies of Selfish Engraver. Good old classic dress set 1. When she hits, she Soul Charges 1. And at the end of the battle, she attacked. As long as you have 10 or more cards in Soul, she goes back to Soul and countercharges. And that's the main thing you're playing her for, is the extra countercharge. Also on the Dark States Ace, Depravity Funeral Judgment, Valak, who on place for its unique skill gets 5k. And then you can Energy Blast 3 to check the top 7 cards of deck. Put 1 to Soul, then you get to call a unit from Soul with grade less than or equal to your Vanguard. And when he attacks, if the opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, he gets 5. And then if you've either got 5 or more cards in Soul, or Soul Blast 3 cards this turn, he gets a second 5k boost. So he can be anywhere between a 15 to 25k beater just on his own. And lastly, for grade 2s, we've got the first of the 2 Queen's Orders, the grade 2 Signalized Queen's Order, which can be played for a counterblast as long as you have an Alcasal Vanguard. And what this does is it goes to Soul. You get to call 2 units with different names from Soul, and you, the player, get the ability that as long as your Soul has 10 or more cards in it, your front row gains 5. This is active the whole time. There's no grade restriction, so if you turbo in 10 cards on your grade 2 turn, you've got an extra 5k. And along with that, the call isn't actually grade restricted, so while there's no grade 3s here, if you end up accidentally soul charging an Alcasal, you can get a 13k beater on your grade 2 turn. For our grade 1s, we're going to start with the Penetration Gargoyle, Venice Galza, who, when placed on rear, for 3 energy, can take a Queen's Order from Soul and put it back into hand, and then you'll soul charge 1 mandatory. This is the only random soul charge you will actually be doing in the deck, unless this hits. Along with that, he has the Arma Arms ability, which when Alealua is placed in the same column on a different rearguard circle, during the battle phase, he becomes an Arma Arm gauge. And when he is put into a gauge by the Arma Arms ability, until the end of the opponent's next turn, the Lua that he goes under gets the ability to not be chosen by your opponent's abilities. And for each card in Soul, she'll gain 1k or 2k if the opponent's on grade 3. This checks at moment of activation, so if you put on more cards after, she's not going to get bigger. But if I'm understanding the wording right, she does keep that power increase during the opponent's turn, so she's a really big intercept that's hard to get rid of. We're also on 4 copies of the Opener of Heart Philia, the Skyride promo that is for this deck. When she boosts, as long as the opponent has 1 or less rearguards, or you play an order this turn, like your Signalized Queen's Order, she gets 5k, and then you can purge a soul to draw a card. We're on 4 regular Sentinels because we want to have our Blitz Order slot open for our 2 copies of Vitalized Queen's Shield, which can be played as long as you have an Alcasal Vanguard. Or you put it into Soul, you can soul charge 1. Sometimes you will do this if you're just short on numbers. You get to pick 1 non-Sentinel unit other than the OT from your Soul and call it and give it 5k shield. If you called Alealua, she goes up to a 30k shield instead, so it gets a plus 10. Going into our trigger lineup, I'm on 7 criticals. You can definitely be running the Soul crits if you want to just get more things that can go to Soul easily. I personally feel like don't like it because I almost always am able to be looping the Philias and the Venice Galzas. I'm also on 4 copies of the Soul Front, which when it's retired from Guardian Circle, so after guarding, it goes to Soul. This can be looped with the Vitalized Queen's Shield, so if you get 1 into Soul, it's already a 20k front again. That can just go back to Soul and refill it. Of course, 4 heal triggers. You could definitely do 2 regular, 2 of the crit heals, because there's a lot of things that get extra crit this format, or do like 1 and 1, the crit heal and the multi-attack heal. And for my OT, I am on the Spiritual King of Ignition, Volnant, who at the end of the battle, who when checked picks a standing rear guard and gives the ability at the end of the battle attacked, restand. If you don't have a unit that you can pick for that, you draw a card, pick a unit card from hand and call it. And the reason I'm on that is because Volcana's red text ability she gets, that's not mandatory. You can hold that and be swinging 2 crit attacks. Alealua on her own gets pretty big, so you could honestly split it. Thanks to Galza, she gets big. And along with that, you've got other tech cards you could be running. I've seen Desire Devil Gomon as a 1-of tech because when it goes to Soul, you can force your opponent to guard with 2 or more cards for the rest of that turn. The only reason I don't have one is because I don't have the space, in my opinion. You could definitely max out on the Orions, but with the digging you're already doing, you are actually pretty likely to see her at 3. And I personally think 4 ends up clogging up decks a lot. But that's my list for the brand new Alcasal. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys are happy I'm back. Update on why I've been gone will come later. But y'all have a great rest of your day. Ciao.